really don't be quiet. If you know somebody, if you have a friend that it looks like that they're experiencing this with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, talk to them. Don't be judgmental. Tell them that there may be a problem here. Talk to an adult you trust.
We need to train our youth to listen to each other and communicate with each other, and when they hear the red flags, then to be able to tell somebody and get resources for our youth.
The toughest thing is probably having teenagers think that what they're seeing is okay, that what they're experiencing is okay. That's normal. It's okay that he stalks me. It's okay that he follows me everywhere I go, because that's what love is. That's not what love is. You don't have to be under a microscope. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to be happy by yourself without having to have someone watching you all the time.
I would lead off with any work with young people talking more about respect and dynamics of healthy relationships. Teaching healthy relationships early as even 6th grade is really critical, because that gives young people an expectation of what to look for in relationships rather than believing that violence is okay.
I think the parents don't realize that this kind of thing that can start out so young.
Most of the time the parents think that it's kid stuff, like it's just high school. It's high school, you're going through that phase.
A lot of teenagers too don't want to tell their parents about their relationship. They don't want them to see this person that they are going out with. They don't want their parents to think that they're going out with a bad kid, because they might be afraid their parents would tell them, I told you so, this would happen, it's your fault, you got yourself into this situation.
It's also that teenagers don't want their parents to be a part of their relationships, because they feel like, because I know for me it's kind of like, oh, this is the first part of myself that I actually don't have to share with my mom or my dad, that it can actually be just mine.
I didn't want to tell my parents about it because I was afraid that they would judge me or make me break up with them. And I really didn't want to break up with them. I thought you'd change. And I knew if I told my parents, they would tell me to. And so it took me a really long time to tell my mom. And when I did, finally, I'm really glad I did, because she had a lot more to say than I thought she would. And she was really supportive.
We can say, listen, these are the mistakes that I learned from. This is a poor relationship I was in. And this is what you deserve as respect. And these are the guiding principles that you should have any relationship invoke throughout your lifetime. And I think that having those conversations and admitting as parents that we don't have all the answers, but we do know when something is not respectful, when something is bordering on emotional abuse, when something is too controlling, we can recognize those signs and say, hey, I don't have all the answers, but let's talk about this. What do you think is healthy? What do you think is acceptable?
People want the abuse to end, but not necessarily the relationship to end. So there can be a lot of mixed feelings. So stay calm, let them know right away it is not your fault, no matter what the abuser has told you, no matter how many times you've been blamed, and you're not alone. This happens in every demographic, every group of people throughout our society. You're not in some loser group of people that this happens to.
I think one of the things that makes this case so sad is the fact that there were so many opportunities for intervention, and it took basically silence on the part of so many different people, which led up to this poor girl being murdered.
Well, one thing I'm kind of looking at is her friends and who she was associating with. I'm sure she told her friends, I didn't return your cell phone call because he took my phone from me last night. So they saw him, the monitoring of her being at practice. So her friends kind of had a clue of what's kind of going on in this relationship, and no one, they either were afraid themselves to report, or they didn't know that those things were wrong.
Well, one of the things that children, especially mid schools, when they start developing these relationships, intimate relationships with other students, is that they need to remember to trust their gut. If that first blush of love, they want to be with that other person all the time. But if that person starts controlling them and they feel frightened, they feel afraid, they feel annoyed, then they need to trust that and realize this is not a healthy relationship and talk to somebody about it.
It's not just teachers and parents that need to be concerned about this, but everyone who has young people who they care about in their lives. So coaches, youth group leaders, neighbors, we all need to get involved and let kids know that there is help available. And sometimes I hear folks saying, well, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist, I don't know how to intervene. But you don't need a special degree to say, I'm worried about you, you can talk to me, I'm here to help.
It takes a lot of courage on the part of a parent to call the school and to say, I've learned this from my child. And so I think we had probably multiple missed opportunities with parents who might have been alerted by the students at that same school.
If you're feeling you're having out-of-control issues, you have to know where she is every few minutes or text her, then you really need to seek some kind of mental health assistance, because that is just unacceptable. And, it can be stopped before it comes to this point, and she's dead and he's spending 27 years in prison.
I stood in it because I thought I was in love, and I thought he loved me, and he promised me the world and so much more. And he never lived up to anything. So it's just basically, if you're gonna sit there and someone tells you that they love you, but 10 minutes later they're sitting there calling you a bitch, they don't love you. They just want somebody to have power over, someone to control.
And it took me a long time to build up relationships with my friends again. And I thought it would take a while to build a relationship back up with my mom, because she had been telling me quite a while, and I thought, I don't know, she'd think I was stupid or whatever. But really, we got like the best relationship ever now, and it's awesome. And now I really appreciate my friends a lot more, and I am okay. And I'm getting through college and high school and work. And it's so much easier than I thought it would be. I'm so glad I got out, because I'm actually like happy now.
I think we all have to understand as best we can that the incidence of this stuff is growing. We have to take this stuff more seriously. We are sacrificing some lives here that don't have to be sacrificed. And while we honor the young woman's death, and we will make some meaning out of this death, we want it to save other people. And young people and parents and everyone, reach out, because we can save lives with this information.